guys, welcome to my channel. My name is D and this is Let's Just with D. Can I say season greetings? I mean, it's Christmas already. Christmas is so close. I don't even know what to do about that yet. Anyways, till then. Alright, so today I have this very interesting topic, but first of all, have you subscribed to my channel? If you know you have not, and you don't want us to fight, I beg, just click on that subscribe button sharp. Click on it now. It will not cost you anything now. Just touch it. It will just, click on subscribe and just subscribe. Just do that for me. Help your girl now. Shoo, help us. So okay. So today I have this interesting topic, like I said, and I titled it "Passing Blames." Yeah, passing blames. I may sound very serious, but let's just say I'm trying to express myself. Sometimes are very quick to point our fingers at our partner and blame them for the entire issue we face in our relationship. We're very quick to judge them. We're very quick to pass the blames and say you caused it, you are the reason for this issue, you are the reason why we are facing this, you are the reason why we're quarreling today, you are the reason why we are encountering these problems, you are the reason, very quick, because it makes us feel good about ourselves when we don't find any fault in what has happened, when we don't find faults at ourselves, at the issue that has happened. For instance, you quarrel with your partner and then you point your entire finger at him and say, or at her and say she's the reason you guys quarreled, or is the reason you guys quarreled. Her attitude is bad, he speaks poorly, he speaks rudely, he doesn't respect me, she doesn't respect me, she can't do this, he can't do that. We are quick to do that, and it makes us feel good, like we're perfect and our other partner is not perfect or not trying his or her best to make the relationship work or marriage work. So have you ever thought of how the other person feel when you point 100% finger at them and say they are the one who is totally wrong, without you really checking yourself out to see if you probably played a role, no matter how tiny that role may be? Did you play a role in making that issue what it is? Or did the issue start and then you helped to increase it, make it broad, make it worse? I always have this belief that no matter what the issue may be in your marriage or your relationship, passing blames shouldn't be the solution. Passing blames shouldn't be the way out for you. Should I tell you the truth? The thing is, if you guys have issues and you pass blames to your other partner, trust me, this issue is going to repeat itself in the future. That is because you have not sat down to check yourself, examine the situation. Did you play a role? Did you do anything to have make things worse or bring up the issue or make it the way it is as it is? Do you understand? I'll use myself as an example. I remember I had an issue with my husband, and if I narrate that story to you, oh my God, you will blame him totally. That is because I will narrate it based on my own perspective, and my perspective will blame him. Do you understand? Now, if you go and listen to his own side of the story, his perspective will blame me, possibly. And then it will look like I'm the one who is the bad guy here. That is how it is. That's just how it is. Everybody has their own perspective to every situation, which makes them the good guy and the other person the bad guy. Even though we tend to say, it's not like I'm perfect though. Me too, I know I'm not perfect though. Me too, I know I did my own though. But you're the one that did most of it though. Do you get? The fact remains that in everything that happens, you had a role to play, no matter how tiny that role is. Okay, so now this issue happened and I was finding it really hard to forgive because I was holding on to the fact that he did majorly, in fact, he caused the entire thing. He's the reason we're having that issue. He's the reason we're at the position we were at that moment. He's the reason we are both angry and hurt and upset with each other, or angry and don't want to talk to each other, or don't want to settle the issue because he's totally wrong and I didn't see what I did wrong. The situation calmed down and I decided to check it out, like examine the situation, that what role did I really play to make the situation the way it was. So there are certain steps I'm going to be sharing with us today on how I was able to handle things so that it does not repeat itself. I wouldn't want a situation where we have a particular issue and it becomes a recurrent situation in our relationship, in our marriage. Do you understand? So I had to sit myself down because I'm the woman in the home, and yes, the Bible will say it's my duty to build my home. So I had to sit myself down and tell myself the truth that, okay, babe, number one, you had a role to play in this thing. You had a role I played a role that made the situation the way it was. I wasn't totally innocent. So even if I narrate the story to others and it seemed like my husband had the highest blame to receive, I also had my own parts that I played in the situation that made it the way it was. Do you understand? So I needed to tell myself the truth. And so number one thing and number one key to helping issues get resolved and then to quit passing blames to your partner is to realize that you also had a role to play. Tell yourself the truth. Tell yourself the truth. No matter how tiny it may be, you had a role to play. So I had to tell myself the truth that, okay, fine, I'm myself, I fuck up. Myself, I did this, which was really bad. So number two thing is own up to your blames and apologize. The truth is, if I didn't own up to some of these things I did wrong, I won't see a reason to apologize. Even if my husband came and said, oh, sorry, he did this, he did that, okay, it was really bad, being a guy and all, I had to also do the same. After recognizing that I had a role to play in the issue, I had to also apologize and realize that, okay, what I did too was quite bad, and I also apologized. You get? It helps to soften both hearts. Yes, it helps to. Then what can you do for the situation not to repeat itself another time? Then another thing is you need to now learn from the situation. Okay, so I did this thing. I don't think if I'm having a similar issue another time, I would want to repeat the same act. So what was the best means of handling the situation was what I needed to know. So I started reading books. Yes, I had to read, because somebody once said something that when you want to become a doctor, when you want to become a business administrator, you need to go to school to learn these things, right? So the same way it is for relationships to marriages. If you want to be successful at it, you need to.
Yes. If you want to be successful in this marriage, you have to be humble. You have to be, as a wife, you have to be submissive. Anytime your husband wants it, you give it to him back to back. Yes. And don't ask for money. That is really good.
What makes you think that the path of marriage or relationship does not require you to go through some form of study? From people that have had experiences in the past, our elders. There's a part in the Bible that says the elderly women should teach the younger women how to take care of their home, their marriages, and how to build it up successfully. The same goes for us. We need to learn to study these things, study from experiences of others that had gone through this journey and are still at it. You hear people say, I've been married for 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, and they are still together. So we just need to hear from them, okay, how did you do it? Or there are authors that God has, the Spirit of God has inspired to write certain books and articles for us to learn from. Go online, search on these things, pick godly books to study. Pick books that will help you, to give you that wisdom, that understanding you require to handle certain situations better than you would have. That is what we call wisdom, gaining knowledge. Gain knowledge, gain wisdom about marriage, about relationships, so that it will help you in the long run. So I needed to find a way, okay, fine, how would I not allow such situations? How do I not react in this manner anymore? If something like this happens, what was the best way for me to handle it? What was the best way for me to talk? What was the best way for me to act? How should I do it? What should I do? You get? So I needed, thank God. So I saw this book and I started reading it. I have another one too, which I was reading through also to learn from these people that have been inspired by the Spirit of God and have successful homes by His grace. So I studied and I saw that I really, really had a lot of wrongs in that situation, even beyond what I thought. I had major faults. Major faults. On the norms, I blamed him totally. Later, I blamed myself partially. And then after reading those books, I realized that I blamed myself totally. Do you get? Because I gained knowledge over time about it. So we need to learn to train ourselves to study, to gain knowledge from mentors, from authors, from the Bible, from people who have gone ahead of us and are successful at it, so that we can do ours even better. Do you get? Okay, so another thing is prayers. I will always say it any day, anytime. You need to keep praying for God to help you have certain characteristics and personality that would help your marriage, and also for Him to take away those ones that can ruin your home, like anger, like talking back at your partner, like disrespect, like there are so many terrible personalities that some of us have, and we fail to recognize them. So, but prayers, recognizing them, praying about them, and taking conscious effort to ensure that we don't repeat the same things, act the same way, and do things in the same manner as before. It will help us be a better person. So we need to always pray. Bible say pray about everything. Pray about your personality. Those things, you self, that you get angry. You self, say your mouth bad. Your mouth is very bad. You self, that once you face your husband and abuse his life up to down, the guy is not going to think twice about in life, or the way you demand things. Those things that can choke somebody. Just figure them out and try to work on them. So like I said, it's very easy and quick for us to pass blames. And if you don't realize that you played a role, these issues will keep reoccurring. So I don't want to be having the same issue reoccurring in my home or in my relationship, and that is the reason I had to do these things I did, to help myself get solutions so that they don't repeat themselves. That is how it is. I know a part in the Bible where the Bible says that David will commit a particular sin, and by the moment he asks God for forgiveness, he doesn't repeat the same thing. It should go for our homes. When situation happened the first time, let's try to find solutions so that it does not repeat itself the second time. Do you understand? So quit passing blames and judging your partner like you are perfect or like you did not play a role in anything. Quit it. Yourself, auntie, uncle, you played the role. So stop trying to be the Mr. Perfect or Mr. Innocent, like you didn't do anything before your partner just jumped up and got mad, or before the quarrel started, or before the situation happened. You didn't do anything, Abby. You didn't do anything. Is that what you're saying? Tell me the truth. You didn't do anything. But seriously, we need to quit all this act of passing blames. It takes two for things to happen. It takes two to agree. It takes two to disagree. It takes two to tango. It takes two for anything to happen. You didn't quarrel with your mirror. You didn't marry your mirror. So the both of you will just find a way around it. It shall happen. Don't come and go and kill yourself. Find solution. Solve it. Work it out by the grace of God. So I hope I was able to say something reasonable. If it was not reasonable, no while I shall pick the one way suits you and work on it. Welcome to my channel again. Thank you for watching today's episode on Let's Gist with D. Please subscribe to my channel. Love you plenty. See you next time. Bye.